So I don't know if you guys remember the Blizzard artist by the name of Kyle Hickey. They made a very interesting thread on his Facebook page after Donald Trump got elected into office and inaugurated. He's the man who decided it was in his best interest as an employee for Activision Blizzard to basically tell everybody to off your local MAGA. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't facetious. It wasn't anything. And there was a bunch of people agreeing with him, liking the post, saying, hell yeah, let's go. Like, clearly it's a little bit unhinged, but that's all besides the point. Blizzard, now apparently after weeks of silence, may have actually pulled the plug on Kyle Hickey and fired him. Now, again, guys, all of this is alleged. We don't have any actual true confirmation just yet over whether or not Kyle Hickey is fired. But let's be honest, we're probably never going to get a true actual admission that they fired this man because, you know, that's just not what these companies do anymore. They rather just do it quietly, sweep it under the rug, and let the drama die down on its own. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Part Plays. But, of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says Blizzard may have finally fired artist Kyle Hickey, who called for political violence against MAGA, according to former World of Warcraft team lead. Now, again, every time they say former World of Warcraft team lead, you already know it's Grums. Like, I just at this point, I don't know why they don't just say Grums, but I understand it. I guess former World of Warcraft team lead sounds better. I don't really fucking know. After days of silence, it seems Activision Blizzard may have finally taken action regarding Kyle Hickey, the Blizzard technical artist who ignited controversy with his violent social media posts that called on followers to off your local MAGA. Former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, known online as Grooms, confirmed that multiple sources close to the situation have informed him that Hickey's Slack account has been deactivated. Kern shared the update on X. Now, before we get into this, okay, I want to throw out a little bit of a conspiracy theory, okay, and just hear me out. So for me, I would normally believe this, right? I would normally say, okay, they deactivated his Slack account. Perfect. That sounds like he got fired. You know, he made the decision. It is what it is, right? But I'm a little bit sus about this. And the reason why is because there has been a recent attempt as to try to I guess, get the leakers in Blizzard exposed, and they're trying to find out who is it that leaked this information to Grums. If I was Blizzard, and I doubt they're this smart, but if I was Blizzard, I would make up some BS that I know is hot right now, which is the Kyle Hickey story. I would make up some BS that we got rid of Kyle and deactivated his account and all that stuff, and we would just make sure that only a couple of employees know over at Blizzard. We would just make sure they know. That way, you could sniff out who's the one that's actually leaking this information to Grums in the first place. But, again, most of the time, it usually does signal that when the Slack account gets deactivated, that normally is a sign of termination, but we don't quite know for sure. Even Grums says so. He says, I can now confirm from multiple sources that the Blizzard artist who made threats against MAGA has had their Slack account deactivated. This is usually a sign of termination. Something was finally done. I can now, and again, if true, this represents a major face or about face for Activision Blizzard. As recently as of February 4th, Kern had publicly stated that nothing was being done about Hickey's post, citing insider sources. At the time, Kern expressed frustration over what he saw as selective enforcement of company policy. Now, I don't think that Activision Blizzard would actually do anything personally. I really don't, because knowing how this company is and seeing how they have acted in the past, I really feel like it's fair to say that they would probably side with Kyle Hickey. I really do. As crazy as that sounds, I really think that the company would take the stance of, okay, well, our woke employee decided to say this, and obviously he has his freedom of speech, and we can't fire him for this, but we'll reprimand him. We'll punish him, whatever the case would be. Some PR BS nonsense response, but I don't really think they would get rid of him, right? And I still don't right now, even though Grums is saying that they did. I feel like there's more to this, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so then if we look, actually, hold on. So Grums, the Blizzard artist who called for offing local MAGA, was outrageous. Imagine if he had said this about the left, completely one-sided HR policies, which have zero tolerance for this type of language, unless they agree with it. Death threats are wrong, folks, and I'm tired of people saying that they're just jokes. Now, if you look down, it says, now with Hickey's deactivation appearing to signal his potential termination, Activision Blizzard may be attempting to quietly contain the backlash. On January 21st, just one day after inauguration of Donald Trump, Kyle Hickey posted on Facebook saying, "Off your local MAGA." Unlike other inflammatory statements that might be defended as satire, sarcasm, or exaggeration, Hickey's post contained no disclaimers, no LOL, no emojis, no clarification that it was meant in jest. The blunt statement, a call for violence against supporters of the sitting U.S. president, was liked by multiple followers, including Max Davenport, associate art director over at Gearbox Software. Now, I was looking at that post and I went down the rabbit hole and I realized how many people that are in the industry that was actually liking that post, because they're all friends, right? They all co-mingle together, they network together. There was a lot of people that were in the industry that were liking that post, reposting it, sharing it, whatever the case would be, commenting on it. It was insane. And it goes to show just how far gone people are and how much they're melting down on the inside that Donald Trump actually is now president of the United States. They got to deal with it for the next 4 years, and they can't deal with it. That's the whole point. They're going to try their best to make our entertainment as miserable as possible. They really are. The stuff is going to be so on the nose that people are just going to probably end up being so sick of it. And thankfully, we do have good games out there that we can play, some indie games, some AA games, and a couple of AAA games here and there. But we do have some good games out there that we can enjoy for the year. And we also, as gamers, by the way, have a massive backlog. God knows my Steam backlog is ridiculous. I have over 300 games that I probably have as a backlog right now because you guys have been so kind and you've been gifting games and sharing games with me. So I appreciate it. But my backlog's insane, bro. I can only imagine how crazy other people's backlogs are in terms of video games. But I will say this. If they did end up firing Kyle Hickey, part of me feels like that's a good thing. Part of me feels like that's also a bad thing because obviously freedom of speech. But at the end of the day, you are representing a company. You are part of Activision Blizzard. You work there, and you telling everybody to off your local MAGA with absolutely zero any kind of reference to a joke, nothing whatsoever, an LOL emoji, nothing, sarcasm, nothing. It's just literally a command, off your logo MAGA. I'm gonna say that you probably should have been you should have been reprimanded at that point. These are the people here that liked it, by the way, and I'm sure there was more people that liked it before it all got deleted. But these are the people that got screenshotted to like it, and then even somebody commented. Nicole Williams commented on this as well. It says, for days, Activision Blizzard remained silent despite mounting pressure from gamers, industry professionals, and conservative commentators. Many saw this as another example of the double standard in corporate HR policies, where perceived threats against left-leaning groups result in immediate termination, but threats against conservatives are often ignored or tolerated. This incident comes at a pivotal moment for Activision Blizzard, as the company has recently doubled down on its DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, even as other major corporations like Walmart and Amazon have begun moving away from such programs. Well, that's because with Activision Blizzard, they're being honest about it, right? Amazon, Walmart, they're not being honest about it. They're lying to you. They're telling you that they're moving away from it, but they're going to end up doing something else within the company. Or even if they don't, at the end of the day, their employees have been indoctrinated by the DEI policies that have been around for years. So they don't have to worry about having to have policies because everybody thinks the way they want them to think anyway. It really doesn't matter. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.